Services Director here at the Marshalltown Y. Thought I'd give you an update on what's going on in our facility. We are currently in phase 3, so still no towel service, no steam room in the men's and women's locker room, but the majority of our areas are open. We are asking members to do a self-scan-in as they come into the building. We're taking extra precautionary measures to wipe down all surfaces throughout the day. We do ask our members also to wipe down the equipment before and after each use. Both our recreation pool and our lap pool are open. The recreation pool is open Monday through Friday, 3 to 4, to members and participants. We are continuing with youth sports, just ended soccer, and working on t-ball. We'll have flag football this fall. Our gymnasium is open for basketball, so the majority of our areas again are open. We are accepting day passes, punch cards, as well as new memberships. So jump on our website for more information and membership pricing.
Hello everyone, I'm Kimmy Benson. I'm the dance director here at the YMCA YWCA School of Dance. We're here to let you know that fall dance classes start August 31st and you can sign up now. We have many safety precautions and social distancing parameters that we are putting in place. We had dance classes most of the summer, and we had those same guidelines in place during those classes. And we had an outdoor recital this year instead of our normal recital, which was different but was very fun. So we have classes for all ages that are starting soon, ages 3 all the way through adult. Please join the Y.
Hi, my name is Pat Thompson. I'm public health nurse for Marshall County, and it's good to be here today on this lovely day outside, socially distancing like we need to do. And you probably can hear some road noise that's going on around us, but that's all good. So first thing I want to talk about, today's a gorgeous day and we're not thinking heat like we normally would, as we have been doing, but heat is coming again and humidity, and that's why we still have to be able to take good care of ourselves and know that not everything needs to be done immediately at our homes. You know, don't work in the heat of the day if you can avoid it. A little less mosquitoes now because of lack of rain, so maybe, you know, mowing earlier and later isn't as big a problem as it was before if you need to be outside. And be sure to watch out for other people as far as if someone's dressed like they're too warm, and try to figure out if they need some help, because sometimes that happens, you know, where we need to pay attention to our neighbors and friends and make sure that they're safe also. Keep your dogs and creatures, you know, out of the heat. Make sure they have plenty of water. Give them shade with ventilation around it. You know, a corner that's too hot isn't good either. And make sure they have their food that they need, because it's gonna, you know, they may not eat as much, but they still need their proper diet. Make sure we don't leave our little children in the car. That's so hard to say, but it happens. Just like there's really a lot of commercials saying, hey, children do die in cars because they're sleeping and we forget about them, and we're human, but you know, give yourself a little note on how you're going to make sure that you check the back seat all the time. I have to share with you, if I put something in the trunk, which is never a child or a pet, okay, just so you know, I can go in my house and forget I left it there because my brain's just going on to the next thing like lots of other people. So make sure that you look at your back seat every time you get out of your car, whether you want to or not. The other thing is this nice weather, and as school starts, and as kids are out and about, be sure to slow down, watch the side streets, watch the between parked cars, because kids still do what kids did when I was little, dart out between cars. So pay attention to that, because we want to keep them safe. And we know they shouldn't, and they know they shouldn't, but they still do because they're kids and we're the adults in a car. So watch out for traffic around you, and watch out for children, especially as we start school or they're heading to the swimming pool or wherever it may be, to make sure that we're taking good care of them, because that's our job. We're the adults in the group. We talked a teeny bit about mosquitoes. Hey, this is not so mosquito-ridden as it was earlier when we had lots and lots of rain. But still, you need to make sure you're using your proper bug spray. Read the directions on the can. That's very, very important because they all have the potential to be toxic. And watch out for ticks. And like I always say, you know, check each other for ticks because that's really important to get them off the same day that they were on, that they landed on you, because ticks crawl and you have to kind of look in crevices and places you didn't think you'd ever have to look before. Go look for a tick, okay? And be sure you do that with assistance if you need it. You know, our backs and back sides may have a tick there that we're not expecting. I think they tend to, I've not had one on me, so I'm very grateful, but you know, on waistbands of your pants and things like that. So ticks crawl up unless they get brushed up. Well, anytime, if you brush up against some brushy or leaves and that type of thing, if they're on a leaf, they'll be on your body at that point, and they do crawl up. So be sure to take good care of yourself that way. The coronavirus, the COVID-19 is still here. It's not going away. We know that. I say that all the time. And getting through it is becoming, I'm going to say boring. It is. It's a boring topic. It's boring to talk about it, but it's where we're at right now, where we continue with the pandemic. I hear words like the second wave. I'm not sure if that's really what it is. I'm not sure we ever got through our first one yet. So I would say not, but this is when we still have to buckle down and do those things like we did clear in the beginning to a degree, even though we don't want to show that we're taking good care of ourselves and our families. And when I say that, I mean that we're social distancing at least 6 feet or more. If you would have contact with someone who is COVID positive and no one wants it and no one gets it on purpose, that's our plan, and no one gives it to someone else on purpose, right? So we have to make sure that if we're closer to someone than 6 feet for 15 minutes or more, that we have the potential of high risk of getting COVID-19. Now, you shouldn't play the game of, well, it was only 10 minutes, just stay away from each other, all right? Because if there's a contact tracing, those are the questions I would ask you, anybody that's doing the investigation would ask you. So who was next to you for closer than 6 feet for 15 minutes or more? That's what we would ask, and that's who we would have you identify. Now, I'm going to say this at the risk of the mask things that we go through. If you have a mask on, it doesn't make a difference because they're not 100%. But a mask is so helpful to help contain the virus, so it's not, I'm going to say the word, spewed out further, it's closer, and that's less people exposed. And when I wear my mask, I'm protecting you. When you wear your mask, you're protecting me, and I thank you for that. There are reasons not to wear it. For one thing, it affects, can I wear lipstick? It messes up my makeup. It's not comfortable. It's hard to breathe. They're hot. I want to be able to talk to my friends and enjoy. I want to see a smile. All those things that we want, but this really does help protect all of us. So show your expressions with your eyes and your hair and glasses or whatever it may be, and just let that mask be there to help protect us all. School will be starting soon, and there's going to be lots of questions about that. I receive questions every day about school starting, and work closely with school personnel and school nurses and that type of thing. And actually it's a privilege. It's a privilege to be a part of that. We don't have all the answers at all. We're working on it. It's an imperfect world, so we have to work on being patient and kind and trying the best that you can because everybody else is trying the best that they can. So as we approach that time of year, I know it's hard and it's stressful, and there's some tough decisions to be made. And I know that school personnel throughout the whole county and school nurses throughout the whole county are working very hard because the last thing they want are sick kids. They really don't. They want everybody to have a good school year, and none of us really know exactly what it's going to look like, but they're working on it and they're doing the best that they can. So help give them support that they need. Throughout the summer we've appreciated the school food services, providing meals, and worked very hard at that. And now the meals have stopped, if I remember reading that correctly in the paper, because they're getting ready for school. They're vamping up for ramping up, not vamping up, ramping up for getting the cafeterias going for meal preparation. And lunches may look a little different right now too because of distancing that we need to do. And how do you tell a little kid not to stand next to another little kid? It's pretty hard. You do that in your own home or as you venture from your home. But this is a time when we, not fearfully, but we talk to our children and grandchildren and nieces and nephews and little friends in our lives about how to take good care of themselves because they're being considerate of themselves and others, you know. As we all know, this isn't about me. It's not about you. It's all about taking care of each other and understanding the things that we need to do. Look at my little list here. Also, we need to help support our healthcare providers, our healthcare providers and all the nurses and support staff that we have. We have emergency services that are working hard to take good care of us. Excuse me one moment. Everybody's got a cough. Yes, cut is right. Everybody's got a cough and a cough that's, not into my hand. When I get back to my vehicle, I'll use hand sanitizer and not touch anybody in the meantime. Not illegal. That's right. It's not against the law yet to cough. So we're going to keep it that way. But coughing does happen, which comes down to how do you know what symptoms of COVID are COVID and not allergies and flu. You don't want the flu or any other kind of little virus that's running around there. And some of those little viruses can get kind of big if your immune system is down and we just don't have any protection against it like we have with this COVID-19 coronavirus. So that brings me to vaccinations where, they're working so diligently on getting us a vaccine, and that is going to be a real trick. I've heard the words, well, I'm not going to get mine right away because I want to see how it goes. Please get yours right away as soon as it's available to you. We know we won't have one dose for everybody the very first day, so it's going to be done in shifts or in priorities. That's what we did with H1N1. It's not easy to sit back and let other people get the vaccine when you really want it and you're willing to take it before you. But when your turn comes and it's the priority group we're looking at to vaccinate, please come forward and get your vaccination because that is the start of protecting ourselves and stopping what we have going on right now. And I highly suspect that we'll have to do a second round to really get full protection. Whether that will help happen within quickly, it'll be hard to do. I mean, if we're giving vaccine to everybody, we want to get the first dose in, and then vaccines they build up and they start protecting you. And when you get that second one, that kind of just puts you as close to the top as you're going to get with that vaccine. So it's very important. And then the next year, I recommend when it's available again, because there will be a vaccine next year, I'm sure, for coronavirus, get your next one also. I'm suspecting that it'll probably be in the flu shot or some way of getting it every year for a while because we got to keep building up for it. And that's a good thing that's available. H1N1 that we did in 2009 is still part of our vaccine our annual seasonal flu shot. And so we just keep working on it, okay? So it's going to be the same type of thing. I also want to recommend strongly, encourage, beg, plea, whatever it takes, get your seasonal flu shot because you don't need the flu on top of anything else. And there we go. It's an imperfect world, as we know. But anyway, get your seasonal flu shot, keep up with your vaccines, and if our immune systems are down, even if we're healthy and eating well and sleeping well like we want to do. And so we really need to make sure we keep up with our vaccines that are available as we get older, like the Shingles Vaccine is very, very important because immune systems are down. That's a greater chance of the Shingles vaccine, or the shingles to come out, okay? And it does happen, and it happens easily, and you don't want shingles either. So make sure you get your shingles vaccine. It's a 2-dose Shingrix, 2-dose vaccine series. It works. It has really high rates of being effective, and that's what I want you to do to take good care of yourself. And if you're due for a pneumonia shot, get that too. Call your healthcare provider, find out what you need, and they'll be very happy and pleased that you're taking good care of yourself that way. And our little kiddos are starting school, so it's not too late or not too early at all. We're getting there where we need to make sure that we've got those little physicals that we need to get done, that they're up to date with their vaccines to help protect them. And so call your healthcare provider and get yourself in as soon as you can, because you don't want anything else either. We want to get through this as easy as we can without being ill. Actually, as far as supplements go, the question is asked about that. I would ask my healthcare provider about supplements because, and the internet isn't always your best friend on this, so I would ask a healthcare provider what if they thought you needed any supplements, and that would be a good way to go, because for one thing, they cost money, and if they're not going to do you any good, why spend the money on them, right? But there may be something that is recommended by your healthcare provider. That's the best way to go about that, rather than just taking a bunch of them because it sounds like a good idea. I would choose to go to my healthcare provider for those kinds of questions.
And then there's no proof yet that there's antibodies building up against this COVID.
Well, as far as antibodies go, we can assume maybe some, but we don't know if they're effective. You know what? If they were effective, it would be the best thing that could ever happen to us, right? Because then people that had it would be protected from getting it again. But I cannot say that you will be protected. I tell people when I release them from isolation that you're stepping out into a wily, mean virus world, and you are. And so you don't want to get sick again. You don't need any more viruses. So stay home if you can. So here's that thing that we don't want to do, but you're better off if you do, is really choose where you're going as far as venturing out of your home, really. Staying home and finding your own world like you did before, because you did it, and it was in the winter time when it was least likely to be fun, but I guess snow and ice and cold will keep you inside. But anyway, use your yard. If you have things you want to do, and don't we all, I would be selective, and I wouldn't spend a whole weekend hopping from one place to the next at all. I wouldn't do that at all. You may have, I had a small wedding that I went to, and didn't go socialize with family the weekend before, and I didn't the weekend after. I chose to spend 14 days, went to work, that type of stuff, but also just didn't mix them up, and got through the 14 days and without any symptoms or signs of COVID, and I consider that a good day. I didn't expect to, but no one expects to. So that's why, maybe choose some activities that are very small groups, social distance as much as you can, which is what I did, and it worked. And just not put yourself in places that are concerning, even though it sure sounds like fun and it's what you really want to do. Just
prepare for the worst and hope for the best.
Yes, prepare for the worst and hope for the best, because that's just what I did. And I don't have any plans coming up, and I'm going to be very honest. I don't even know what's going to happen for Thanksgiving, Christmas. We have to kind of plan and think about what we need to do to not infect a lot of people, and think about it, in the winter too, will even be closer than what we are now. So the less exposure, if you have some loved ones that you really, really, really want to see, and you think it could work out where you could socially distance and, do the things that you need to do to take care of that person, and everybody is as healthy as they could possibly be, even when stressed. Remember, stress, we're not as good as we usually are. You might consider not doing some other activities around that so that you're as good as you can be. That makes sense. I would actually be intentional in who you're seeing and why you're seeing them, and what's going to happen during that time. So I ask you to take good care of yourself as I wipe the bugs away from me, and also be kind, be patient. you know, it's hard. I know it's hard. And we have to get out of ourselves, and sometimes that's hard because we're alone with ourselves all the time or, you know, close to it. And we just have to keep plugging away and doing the things we need to do. Wash your hands, cover your cough, stay home. Please stay home if you're sick. Even if you're a little sick, you know, make sure you know what you've got before you put yourself with other people. And social distance and wear your mask, and that would be so appreciated by public health. Until next time, bye-bye.
My name is Rich Byers. I'm the president of Mid-Iowa Workshops, or MIW Inc. in Marshalltown, Iowa. MIW has been in the community over 50 years. It was founded in 1967. Originally in a rented building at the Marshall County Fairgrounds, and then in 1976 moved to this location and built the first building. We've had 3 building additions since then to provide the space we need, provide the services that we do. We recycle all the materials that are collected in the Marshalltown, Marshall County area and process that. We sort it, bale it, and then sell finished product to brokers.
My name is Todd Whitmore. I'm the MIW staff member in charge of recycling supervisor. Some of the things that we do here are we recycle cardboard, paper, plastic, tin, glass for Marshall County. We are a drop site for the local haulers for Marshall County. Typically what happens is the big trucks will pull into our tipping floor back there, and they will unload all their recycling products. We'll do a quick sort and push it into the area that it needs to go. My group of workers here are sorting a pile of paper that come in. Basically, they're going through, a lot of this is office waste, so we're pulling out folders that have the metal binders in them. They will get basically thrown away unless it's something we can pull the metal out, and then we will recycle it. They will look for plastic binders, you know, that like office typically use. They will open them up, take the paper out, and we basically throw away the binder. Bags, obviously, they'll remove. Sometimes we get VCR tapes and stuff like that. All that is actually garbage. We don't have an outlet for recycling that material. They'll open any bags that people have the paper in, and then they'll sort it down from there. Obviously, we're sorting out plastic, if there's plastic in bags, tin, pop cans, pop bottles. We get anywhere from 5 to 20 drops a day. Also, any business in Marshall County can drop off at our place for free. We have different size of drops through the day. Some are, you know, maybe 100 pounds of material. Some are as much as 8 tons. Our cardboard typical drop off from one of our biggest haulers would be about 8 tons, and that typically takes about 2 to 3 hours to process through the baler. paper, like I say, it varies. And it all depends on how many trucks we have at a certain time. You know, if it's just one, we can typically sort 1,500 pounds in a couple hours. And to process that through the baler, it takes about 10 minutes to do a 1,500 pounds. And then our typical bales of paper weigh 1,500 to 1,700 pounds. Our cardboard bales are around 12 to 1,400 pounds. 10 bales are around 1,200 pounds per bale, and same thing with plastic.
Hello again, friends of Marshall County, and the history of Marshall County and the Historical Society of Marshall County. It's been a while since we've seen you, and it will continue to be a while until we see you. Unfortunately, even though Governor Reynolds has allowed museums across the state to open, we have no good way to sanitize or distance historic items and textiles, so we are remaining closed for the time being, at least through the end of July. We're reevaluating that monthly. The Edo Blacksmith Shop should be opening soon. We're working on a plan because it's more of an open air situation, a little bit safer for people. We want you all to stay safe. As far as we know, right now we have no events planned, but we're just keeping our fingers crossed that we'll be able to do that again for you soon. Those of you who are members are still receiving your newsletters, so I hope you're enjoying those. We continue to contribute to the Past Times and the Times Republican. And other than that, as you can see, I'm keeping busy. We had, after the tornado, most of the items in the museum had been put in storage, and I am in the process of sorting through that stuff since I have some time on my hands to do so. And we are moving things as we sort them out into some climate-controlled storage at U-Haul because we are starting the process of reimagining a museum for Marshall County. So if you have any questions about any of that, or if you have any input or feedback for us, we'll be staying in communication with you all and hope to hear from you soon.